Chapter 27. The Laptop Thief. It's Bryden who puts out his foot, tripping the guy. The runner falls to the ground, the messenger bag flying out of his hands to land a couple of feet in front of him. A crowd gathers around as I stumble to a halt nearby.
"I just needed the laptop," the man groans on the ground, clutching his knee. "I just needed to delete a video."
"You were being blackmailed by Carl," I guessed, my hand on a stitch in my side as I tried to catch my breath. "Did you break into Carl's apartment?" The man sat up, his hood falling back, and there was a gasp from the crowd. Joan's son Danny looked up at me.
"I had to. I couldn't find the stupid computer."
"Shut up!" hissed Joan as she pushed through the crowd. "Danny, not another word!" Racking my brain, I tried to remember any video from Carl's computer that involved Danny. "I watched the videos. I don't remember one of you." "What do you mean, you watched the videos?" Maisie Alderson paled as she stared at me in horror. "You watched Carl's videos? You know everyone's secrets?" "No, not all the videos," I hastily explained at the expanding group of frowning people. "I just checked to see who was in them so I would know who to suspect of killing Carl. After someone broke into the house, I had to find out who it was. But I don't remember a video about Danny." "Of course you don't," snarled Joan, grabbing at her son, trying to get him to stand up. "He's an upstanding citizen of this town. He had nothing to do with Carl." Danny looked confused at his mother, painfully getting to his feet. He hung his head in shame. Bryden picked up my messenger bag, holding it out to me, but I didn't pay attention to him. "The reason I didn't see any video was because it was already erased." I blinked in surprise as the thoughts churned in my head.
"I didn't."
Danny frowned at me as Joan pulled on his arm. "No, you didn't erase it," I agreed with Danny. Danny might have broken into the apartment to try to get the laptop, to erase the video of him, but he never found the laptop. You didn't find the computer the night you broke into Carl's apartment, which means someone else erased it for you.
"How could they erase it when the laptop was missing?"
questioned a confused Cedric. "The killer had Carl's apartment key." I shivered as I thought out the details of what had happened aloud. The killer killed Carl, searched his pockets, and took his house key. The killer went to Carl's apartment and let themselves in using the key, which is why there was no sign of forced entry until Danny broke in. The killer erased Danny's video to protect him. "Shut up!" yelled Joan. "You're all idiots. Come on, Danny, we need to go." "Joan?" gasped Sue in horror. "Was it you?"
"What did Danny do that he was being blackmailed for?" wondered Bryden.
"It was your water bottle that was the murder weapon," I surmised. "It was you, Joan, who killed Carl to protect your son. That's why you had to buy a new water bottle at the Cluck Cafe. It's also why you weren't at the cemetery tour rehearsal." "I was sick. I had a cold," choked out Joan.
"Mom," groaned Danny, "I told you I would take care of it."
"He was going to bankrupt you. Your wife was threatening to leave you. You might have lost custody of the kids," hissed Joan. She paled as she saw we had all overheard her remarks to her son. Straightening her spine, Joan gave us all a haughty glare. "Carl was scum. You all know it. The world's a better place without him." "You didn't have to kill him," whispered Sue, looking slightly green. "I didn't mean to," huffed Joan. "I was just so mad. He was ruining Danny's life. Danny's wife was going to take the grandkids from us. One minute I was yelling at Carl, and the next he was on the ground. I never meant to kill him, but I'm not sorry I did."
"Joan," said Officer Pesky as he stepped forward from the crowd, a pair of handcuffs in his hand, "you're under arrest for the murder of Carl."
Pesky didn't get to finish, as Joan shrieks, letting go of Danny and suddenly grabbing Kat, pulling my daughter against her, a hand around her neck. "Back off!" yells Joan, her eyes wide and crazy. "Let my Danny go, or I'll do something to her." "Kat!" I leapt forward, but Cedric grabbed my arm, preventing me from going to Cat. I pressed my hands over my mouth to prevent myself from pleading for Cat's life. My eyes darted between Pesky and Cat, hoping he would do something. He was the police officer. He had to do something.
"It's going to be okay,"
whispered Cedric in my ear, but I could barely hear him, even though the cemetery was eerily silent, despite the crowd of onlookers. "Mom?" Cat's wide eyes met mine as she swallowed hard. "Let my Danny go!" growled Joan again.
"Joan, you need to let the girl go," said Pesky.
He took a tentative step towards them, and Joan quickly backed away a step from him, still holding Cat, who stumbled backward with her. "Stop walking, Pesky!" warned Joan. Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying One Drops Dead, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the little bell so you can be notified every time a new chapter of a book of mine drops. Happy listening!